Apple just announced the 2021 MacBook Pros, and while they are amazing, there are 3 reasons why I'd suggest skipping these versions, and I'm gonna go over those reasons in this video today. But before I do, I'm gonna kindly ask you at home to hit the subscribe button. I do a lot of tech topics, including my thoughts on MacBooks, iPads, a lot of Apple topics here on this channel, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. First reason that I want to talk about is the price. Apple released the MacBook Pro, and honestly, I think it's quite a bit expensive. In the USA, the M1 Pro version comes in at $2,000. The M1 Pro Max version comes at $2,899. The 16-inch Pro comes in at $2,499, and the Pro Max version comes in at about $3,099. As I mentioned, that's really expensive, and especially if you compare it with the last year's M1 Pros. One of the biggest features of it was, although it was really fast and you could do basically everything on it, the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro were relatively affordable. But I think that with this year's upgrade, they kind of pushed it out of the affordability for most people. And I think that's gonna bring a lot of people to buying the old M1 MacBooks, which I'll talk about in a bit. Also, one thing that I did find out is that this year's Macs actually have less battery life than last year's MacBook Pros. So according to Apple's website, you get up to 11 hours of wireless web on the 14-inch 2021 MacBook Pro. However, on the last year's 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro, you get up to 17 hours wireless web. You get up to 17 hours of Apple TV app movie playback on this year's MacBook Pro, but on last year's Pro, you get up to 20 hours of Apple TV app movie playback. So there is a drop off in battery life, which for the extra price kind of sucks. For this price, you can definitely save money and purchase the M1 Pro from last year, or even buy the M1 Air, which has a similar performance to the Pro and is a lot cheaper. Reason number 2, the fact that you might have a USB-C dongle already. So one of the things that I personally was very excited for this new MacBook Pro was the fact that it has some of the dongles built in. But in combination with the price, it got me thinking, wait a second, I have a dongle already and it works for me. This display in the back is connected through a dongle. Anytime I take a photo, I connect it through a dongle and I'm able to do things. Now, yes, it's annoying, but I have it and it works. So if you have any of the more recent MacBook Pros from like the 2015 version and onward, you most likely already have a dongle, or you just might not be someone that uses the computer casually and doesn't even need a dongle. So having this might not really be a necessity for a lot of people. So while yes, this new MacBook Pro has more USB-C ports, it has an SD card slot, it has MagSafe and more, I think I'm gonna still stick with using my dongles because it just works for me. And the final reason number 3, is that the M1 still exists. So I alluded to this in my first point, but I think I want to expand on that a little bit. Those M1 MacBook Airs and the MacBook Pros are amazing computers. They do a lot. I'm able to fully edit 4K videos on my MacBook Air from 2020, and I can get a lot of work done. There's no hiccups. The M1 chip is super fast, super efficient. The battery lasts all day. For all intents and purposes, this is almost the perfect computer. And while the MacBook Pro brings it a little bit closer to that category, I would say that it's still a good computer for a lot of people, especially right now because of the new MacBook. The older MacBooks are gonna come down in prices. And with all that said, you can actually buy 2 MacBook Airs from 2020 for the price of 1 new MacBook Pro. Before I wrap up the video, I just want to say that there are a few things from this event that I'm kind of disappointed with. I was looking for the Mac Mini update for this year, and unfortunately we did not see it. So that is going to be a computer that I'm going to be looking for. I use my MacBook mostly at my desktop, like 99% of the time. So I'm thinking of either replacing it or just buying a Mac Mini additionally. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up this video. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Are you guys looking forward to buying the new Macs, or are you gonna stick with last year's Macs? Again, those Macs are really killer, so I'd highly suggest it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.